As a photographer, one of my favorite things to do is record people doing something they enjoy doing. One of the ways I get to do that is by recording people doing historical reenactments. Now, for the most part, for me, that means Fort Ticonderoga over the summer. And I know that everybody there takes great care to make sure that their uh, outfits fit the period that is being portrayed that year, that they make sure that all their gear is well kept, that they're dedicated to not only recreating the battle that is going to be portrayed that year, but also to make sure that they have that they're safe. But they also encamp at the fort, and their encampments mirror that time frame and what would have been appropriate for that time. Now, what I've done year after year is take their photographs, but unfortunately, one of the things that I miss out on is by the time I get the photographs done, the reenactment obviously is over and they've moved on. I may or may not see them the following year, and I'm not probably going to remember. And that doesn't give me enough time to even get together prints. However, there are some staff at the fort. So I've gone back to something I used to do and something I encourage photographers to do. And that is if you take a picture of somebody, give them a print of one of those photographs. Now, for the most part, I get the opportunity to see them on multiple occasions because I go back to the fort. So that gives me that opportunity. And it differs from giving somebody a digital photograph from the perspective of there isn't a sharing of any information. So, for people who are concerned about that kind of thing, there's nothing that needs to be passed on except to find the person and hand them the photograph. No phone numbers, no Instagram accounts, nothing like that. Now, of course, I could put it up on my Instagram account and have them go get it, but that's not the purpose of why I took the photograph. I didn't take the photograph to enhance my Instagram account. I took that photograph specifically because I wanted to capture that person doing something they enjoyed doing at that particular time. And in order to do that, to me, this was the most appropriate way to do it, was to go take the photograph, give them an 8 by 10. I used to do smaller ones when I did this in the past, but I've got the equipment to do it. So I do an 8 by 10, put it on nice, glossy, metallic paper, package it so that the elements, should it be raining, which there's been a lot of rain days this year, will protect it, and then give it to them so they have a keepsake, a remembrance of their time at the fort for that year. And I think it's important for people to have those things. And I also enjoy watching their faces light up because people don't think about what that's like until they get it. There's a lot of things in our lives that we don't truly appreciate until it happens to us. For example, you don't know much about, nor could you, when it comes to raising a child until you have to raise a child. Same goes with a lot of other things that we do in our lives that are separate from what other people do and therefore are not something that's easy to explain to another person or for them to experience it without actually experiencing the event. So while I see street photographers taking pictures of people and then I don't know how they're passing them along or if they're just showing them to them and not even giving them a copy of the photograph, that gets back to the whole copyright and use issue. My perspective on that is, if I take your picture, you have the right to use that picture. Now, if you used it in a commercial aspect, or if you changed the way that I have color graded it or retouched that photograph, yes, I would have an issue with that. But there's absolutely no reason why you shouldn't be able to use that photograph to say, hey, here's who I am and here's how I look. I'd like to have a note as to being the photographer. But other than that, this is you. I took the photograph because of the way you look. Therefore, you should have the right to use that photograph. That's my personal opinion when it comes to the copyright stuff. If I were out there and I caught a photograph of a celebrity and they liked it, I would be more than happy that they liked it and they could use it wherever they wanted to use it. Because to me, the reason I took it was the subject of the photograph. The subject isn't the background, isn't something that just happened to walk across my field. It's what I wanted to take. And therefore, I think that everybody who has their photograph taken has the right to a copy of that photograph. And that's what I got for you guys this week, and I'll talk to you all next week.